Hey everyone, welcome back to another 31-minute podcast. Well, this one we've been trying to find the right person. And we've got Marella Diamond here. Hello.
Hi.
Hi. And Bryce.
Hey,
You just decide to pop in when you feel like it.
I do.
Yeah. So, Marella, let's give people a little bit of background first for you. So, competitive, what is it? Physique?
Bikini.
Bikini.
Yeah.
Okay. With good physiques, obviously. Is that so? When you say bikini, if someone listening to this, they don't even know what that is.
So different federations have their own versions of bikini.
Yeah.
The federation I was with was ICN, which is I Compete Naturally,
Mhm.
and their bikini is quite lean, a soft sort of natural bikini.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
there's a video of this. We're going to throw up a couple of pictures, Broccoli, while you're Snapchatting Bella. So, what made you get into it? Because you're a mum of three.
Yes.
Can I say your age?
I'm 36.
36. You're married, and he runs two businesses.
Yes. Been married for 12 or 11 years.
Yep.
Together 12. Yeah.
Yep. And Jason, I know very well.
Yeah.
And
Hey guys, I just thought I'd jump on, just to let you guys know, about a minute of this podcast, there's a little bit of background noise. It's because the aircon was playing, but I've turned the aircon off, so it goes for about a minute, so I don't think it goes for the whole podcast. Just thought I'd let you guys know. Peace.
so did one day you wake up and just say, hey, I'm going to be a bikini model or bikini competitor?
It was never on my vision board. No, it just sort of something that evolved.
Why?
So when I had my youngest son, they had pierced my spine with the epidural needle.
Yeah.
I was very lucky to walk. It was quite a traumatic time, but it left me with a very weak back. When my daughter started kindergarten, she's my eldest, I felt like I was missing something and I wanted something for myself. Everything had been about the kids and family and supporting my husband while he was building companies, and I just wanted something for myself. And
What shape were you? Sorry to jump in. What shape were you in before?
Honestly, I was a typical yo-yo dieter. My weight would fluctuate quite significantly. The worst advice I ever was given was from my mum to say, when you're pregnant, enjoy and eat whatever you want. Honestly, and I did do that, and I had easily put on, at least 12 kilos. I was quite heavy.
Wow.
But and then I would do all these crazy diets that everyone keeps marketing, a juice cleanse or a
Keto or this or that.
yeah, and I was a sucker for them. I think like most people, I had no idea about nutrition or training or consistency.
So did you train before?
I've never stepped into a gym until 5 years ago.
Right.
Ever. And I'd never done any sort of form of exercise. I'd never worn a bikini. I hadn't worn one in 18 years. I was very self-conscious. Like I think you see all these images on Facebook or Instagram and you compare yourself and you just never think you're good enough. And so that intimidated me. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And they pierced your spine with an epidural, which meant?
I had a really weak back. So just even doing the simplest things like vacuuming or making a bed and lifting, I would be in a lot of pain, like incredible pain. Yeah. In my
Was that
back.
with which kid?
Jax, so my youngest.
Youngest, right.
Yeah.
And then that you just were like, I just want to fix the pain, or I want to get healthier, I want to
I
get...
dealt with it for a few years, and then when my youngest started kindergarten and my boys were able to both be in preschool, I had some time.
Yeah.
I
a little bit of yourself back.
Been there when we've had kids and you sort of finally connect and find yourself again. You're like, oh, I have a little bit of time now.
Well, it's easier for me to say as a dad, but the mums are just, they own you.
Yeah.
It's
and
like,
my boys are 13 months apart, so it was almost like, you had twins.
So their ages?
So Alia's 10, Logan is 8, and Jax is 7.
Yeah, right. Wow.
Yeah,
awesome. So you started, how did you get into it though? Like you went and said, I'm going to make myself better. Like, I mean, did you look into things, or did you just start training, or did you saw somebody?
To do, and then I had met a parent that was, from kindergarten. And she was like, I train at the gym. Why don't you come with me? You can train with me with my PT. And I thought, that's great. That doesn't seem too intimidating. I'll do that. And I started training with her. And then one thing led to another. She wasn't as motivated as I was. So I started getting the trainer on extra days when she wasn't training. And it created a little love relationship, like where I just found myself in the gym 5 days a week.
And did you do weights or did you do cardio or
purely weights? I've never really done a lot of cardio.
So if someone's listening to this, so you have your own gym now.
I'm setting that up.
It looks amazing. Good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah, really good. So if someone's watching this, and this is targeted more at women, because we're not experts in women, anything, and let's say they're 30 kilos overweight, a few kids, and they're just scared of the gym. They're self-conscious. They don't want to go.
I've been there.
Yeah.
I know exactly how that feels.
What do they do?
It's, I think you just need to realize that everybody has started somewhere. Yeah. And even though when you walk into a gym, you feel like everyone's watching you and you don't know what you're doing. Everyone's so involved and busy doing their own thing. They're not really looking at you. And if you get stuck with a machine, ask someone. So many people are willing to show you. Yeah. And I found that really helpful. Yeah, just ask. I know it sounds really scary and intimidating, but you've got to get out of that bubble and try new things. Otherwise, you're going to be in the same spot, where you are.
For sure.
Get a trainer. For a period of time so that they can show you what to do or put a program for you.
And you said we spent about half an hour setting up. So we got to talk to you a lot about other things. And you said you only train 5 days a week?
I only train Monday to
1
Friday.
hour a day?
1 hour a day.
Has that always been like that?
It's always been like that, even during prep. Because that's my
What's
family
prep?
time. So during a competition prep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just for people who don't understand what prep is.
Yeah. Yeah. So you'll do it. Yeah. A prep is basically preparing for a competition.
Okay. We're going to talk about that. That's where Bryce is going to ask you lots of questions. There's so tell me about the journey. You made the decision, and then when did this competing thing pop in, or where did you see results straight away?
No, they're very slow results, and everyone wants this instant result. You've been on a diet for 2 days, and why don't I have abs?
Is that me?
That's pretty uniform.
It's just like, what's going on, Yeah. It was just really constantly learning, and knowledge is really so powerful.
Did you study yourself, or was it just listening to people later on?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I just surrounded myself with those who I admired or those who I thought had knowledge. I would constantly email or ask questions and be a bit of a pest. But I think when you're interested...
Does that sound familiar?
Yeah, it's very familiar.
When you're passionate and you're interested and you find someone who knows a little bit more, you're like, onto them.
It's like, tell me.
I'm a sponge. I want to know. How do I do that better?
Yeah.
And there's really no secret to any diet other than consistency. And that's really it. And time. Like, it takes time to build muscle, it takes time to lose fat.
What do you weigh now?
So I'm 58 now.
58. And where's your ideal, just to give people a scale? So what's your ideal weight that you love hovering at?
This weight.
This weight?
Yeah.
You look super healthy.
I don't ever do a bulk, which we discussed. My stage weight, I sort of stay between 5 kilos. And this is my happy weight. This is my weight where my hormones are not crazy. I can enjoy a meal with my kids without guilt.
So, okay. And you won the Worlds?
So I won 3 world titles with ICN last year or in
so
October.
Good.
Yeah.
How much did you weigh before you started training?
Oh, well.
Like 78 or 75 or 80 or
I have no idea.
130.
Honestly, I was such a yo-yo dieter.
Right.
I guess you would call it skinny fat, where I was quite lean, but I had no muscle tone and a lot of loose skin, but I was skinny. There's a very big difference between weighing 55 kilos and 55 kilos. Like, you know what I mean?
For sure.
There's totally different body shapes.
compositions.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. What sort of body fat percentage would you be on, roughly? You don't know. Yeah.
So when you're preparing for a comp, you just look at yourself, like rather than scan yourself?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's good. And you won like that?
Yeah.
And you had no coach there?
No, it wasn't planned like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did 8 weeks into my world prep, my coach had some personal issues and we had no contact, and I was put into a position where do I give up or do I continue on and use the knowledge that I've learned in previous comps and just have a crack and
Yeah, well done.
And I ended
Back
up
yourself.
winning the 3.
So how long did you prepare for that? Like, was it a 3-year exercise or a 2-year exercise or?
No. So I've only been, really my first comp was in September 2008 and Worlds was in October 2019. So it was sort of a 13 month. Yeah, 5 shows in there. And
2018, you mean?
18?
18.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
It was a 12. Yeah.
2018 and you okay. And so tell us about a workout today. How do you work out? What do you do? If someone's listening to this and they go, we want to be Marella.
Oh my gosh, poor things. Look, I don't focus on cardio as much. That's just something that I will put at the end.
Why?
Of the scale.
Yeah, why is that?
Because cardio, unless it's purely for weight loss or you're trying to get that last bit of body fat down, that's when I like to use it. It's kind of a draw card when you prep.
Tools.
Yeah. So I don't like to use that.
Use it sparingly.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would much prefer to use weights. Your body actually will burn more calories after you've trained with weights rather than cardio. So you do your cardio, that's the amount of weight, like the calories you've burnt, you're done. Weight training, that'll continue to burn calories, for hours after, because your body's got to repair. That takes a lot of
So do you eat after?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
So I still meal prep. Like, this is the thing. This is my lifestyle. It's not like I go into a prep and my whole world is changed and upside down. This is the difference between my day-to-day life and prep life is small tweaks in my meals. My training stays the same. I still meal prep now. Like,
Consistent throughout, yeah?
Yeah.
I'll just bounce around. Just
Sure.
Yeah,
it's all
no.
good.
So I have questions from people.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah. What? Oh, yeah. Thanks.
It sounds similar. Very similar theories in that there's not too much difference from what we talk to, what you guys are doing. So
I think if you wanted to compete, and I do get this question from a lot of women who are not consistent in the gym and with training, and they just have this ideal that they want to be in a competition and they see the stage shots and that's just so ideal,
glamorous.
But they never really see what's the back end of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's really important to live the lifestyle before making the decision to compete, because that will determine whether your prep is enjoyable or not, and it has to be enjoyable. I mean, I've got 3 kids.
Yeah.
If I didn't enjoy what I did, I would be an absolute monster. And this is my goal. This is not my family's goal. This is not my kids' goal. They didn't ask to have a mum who was constantly hangry.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy it. And otherwise, there's nothing inspiring about it.
Same with each of your workouts too. That's what we talk about with Matt is making sure, you're coming in, you're feeling good while you're training. So you're bringing everything to every rep and every set.
Yeah.
As opposed to some sort of mechanical ideal of how training should be,
And I think a lot of people just have a go, like they want to do everything perfectly. Is my bicep curl, is this the way that I do it? There's so many ways to do it.
Yeah.
Just have a go, feel right. Like, do you know what I mean? Have some, listen to your body as well.
Does everyone need a personal trainer?
Not everyone needs a personal
At the
trainer.
beginning, maybe?
I think if you have no idea what you're doing, yes, because the knowledge that you'll gain from that person will just, elevate you to the next level very quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Practical and theory are very different too. You can read so much, but actually doing it.
Exactly. We talk about too the biomechanical recruitment. So testing things for yourself, like when someone demonstrates something. How it works for you it can be a slight variation on that, or a slight twist, hand positioning, anything, you got to muck around and work out exactly what works for you. And we do a bit of that innovation.
100%. Like for me personally, squatting was something I was really intimidated to do in front of people. And I think that's because there's so many ways you can do it. There's not a wrong or right way. You know, your legs might be higher than mine, so you're going to have a different squat to mine. They're not all going to be the same. But if you're new to the gym and you see on Instagram, oh, that's how they do it, and they get that low, and I'm not doing that. You know, it's scary. So that's probably when I'd get a personal trainer to explain. You know.
Yeah, it's funny you touch on that, because I said to Matt as well. Like I was talking to someone years ago, and it was about exactly that. Is, you know, what they said is people have different length tendons and different biomechanical recruitment. So when they squat, their heels could come off the ground. So as you said, you know, there's no right and wrong. It's what's right for you. But there's principles you need to adhere to.
Absolutely.
Obviously. But yeah, it's definitely a personal thing.
Yeah, and your mobility, you know, some people can't ask to be asked. You know,
it's
not.
It's true.
Not for them,
and then there's different objectives too with the range of movement too. And that's the other thing too about being a taller person. You know, your mechanical levers and where these things come into play. You know, thinking that if you're looking at someone who's shorter, how they, you know, the range of motion that they go through is much shorter. Their muscle bellies are shorter. The mechanics are different. So working out what works for you, and then the range and all that sort of stuff comes into it. So
absolutely.
What's your mindset every day? So overwhelm. How do you
give it a go?
You must get overwhelmed sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, look, I've definitely had a lot of challenges.
Yeah.
Nothing in life is ever handed to you, and it's never easy. And if it was, everyone would be doing it.
Yeah.
I think you just have to give it a go and have a, you know, just give it all you can. And at the end of the day, just know that you've done your best.
It sounds like you've broken life down into consistent chunks, like an hour training. Do you train in the morning?
No.
In the night?
Well,
in the day.
It depends on my kids, whether they're sick
right.
or they've had a good day or I've slept or...
Yeah. Well, I contacted you this week and you were like, not a hope in hell. Like this week is like flat out. Yeah. And so you seem to be quite dedicated, like as a mum. Is that your number one priority? Like
absolutely. They will always come first, 100%. Like even during prep, my kids are sick and I couldn't get to the gym. Like I'm never going to put them in a position where I'm not there for them.
So when do you train? Just around the kids, or do you just
around the kids? So typically I drop them off to school and then I'll go and train. That would be my window.
I think just want to touch on something. You know, you've got to build your training around your life, you know, not your life around your training. In that, for it to have longevity, you need to be able to put that into a place, like you're saying, you know, which is, you know, to do things where necessary, when necessary, rather than trying to mold everything to some ideal that you just can't maintain. You know, it's the same as with your nutrition, all these other things. You need a bit of flexibility in there to be yourself, you know, to have life take over and just adapt and adjust and, you know, these sorts of things, rather than sticking to, you know, people sort of have these canned approaches where they say, oh, this is what you have to do. And you have to go this way and you have to train at this time and you have to do these things and do this way.
That's life. You're always going to have something that pops up. I mean, it's even when I started training other people and becoming a PT, my training sessions were no longer prioritized. Like, you know, I wanted to.
Because you were doing everyone else.
Yeah. You know, those prime windows when I would normally train, that's the perfect time for my clientele to train. So I had to sort of bend and flex. And if that meant that I had to do half an hour here, 20 minutes here, just to get a workout done by the end of the day, I'd do it. I'd just break it up.
Yeah. So what do you eat in a day? Like roughly?
What do I eat?
Yeah, what does your eating look like?
Typically
because you sound like you're just like, I'll just do blah, 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 but it's like a bit more than that. Like
I think because I've done it for so it's just a norm.
I'm trying to tune into there's people listening to this going, yeah, she looks great, she does this, it's got great mum, but there's way more discipline here than I think.
It becomes your lifestyle. So like honestly, I will meal prep and I will do big chunks of meal preps and have it in the freezer ready to go. I never go without a meal or being prepared.
So what does your eating look like in the day?
So in the morning I'll have pro oats, which is typically just oats with a scoop of protein powder, some MSA and chia seeds, pretty easy in milk. Or water, depending. It's just,
where you're at.
And then I will tend to have eggs. Or nuts for a snack.
Whole eggs?
I'll have 3 whole eggs, 1 yolk. But without giving it, so chicken, rice, beans, stuff like that.
Yeah, so that's all quite lean and regular. How many meals in a day you reckon?
5.
5?
Yeah.
Okay, and small portions?
Small portions,
And when you're preparing for a comp, what do you change in that? Just
so carbs will change, the types of how they mount
The amount,
basically.
yeah.
So I will still eat the same meals, but the quantities will change.
I've seen your competing pictures.
Yeah.
So you're really lean.
Yeah.
And I know you don't know your body percentage, but what would it be? It has to be
It'd
like
be under
4%,
16.
doesn't it?
No.
No?
It'd be up over 10, yeah.
Would it?
Definitely. Well, you got abs, so it's around, 10, 11. Depends.
Yeah.
So unless you measure it, yeah.
I got a question from a lady. She said she's starting tips on nutrition and how do you curb sugar addiction? Not eat it, I guess.
You know what? It's funny. It's like sugar's like a drug. As soon as you have it, you want more. You're never really satisfied. But when you take it out, eventually you don't miss it. You don't crave it. You don't want it. I actually found cinnamon helps.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you eat rubbish ever?
Once a week I do with my family.
Yeah. And what's rubbish for you?
You know what? I won't actually track that. I won't, unless I'm in prep, but just normal day to day, I'll eat whatever I want, But for that one meal, it won't be a whole day of binge eating or a weekend, and then go, I've stuffed it, I might as well keep going. Let's just raid the cupboards.
Yeah.
It is really a meal, and then I'll jump back onto my normal eating habits. But it could, we eat a lot of Thai food. I like
So do you eat that
rice
during the
food.
week, like normally, or just at your one time a week?
Yeah, one time a week.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
So what do you have
The
for
one
dinner?
break.
What do you have for dinner?
For dinner, it's big salads.
Right.
I love volume food.
Yeah.
I'll even eat out of a big salad bowl, like. But it will be filled with lettuce and big salad stuff and protein. That's what I have. I have experimented with the whole vegan or vegetarian diet. That personally didn't work for me.
Same.
I had so many carbs and I found it really hard to get my protein from chickpeas. I'm sorry.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Here. This is my personal view on it.
Yeah.
It was very difficult.
Yeah.
And a high protein diet is probably the best. You're going to feel like less hungry throughout the day. You're not going to be picking between meals as much because you're full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I was just saying, what do you consider high protein?
Like just lean meat, like chicken, turkey. I even enjoy kangaroo mince.
Really?
Yeah.
Haven't tried it.
Really
I should
lean,
try
really
it.
high in protein.
Yeah.
It's unique.
It's quite chewy.
Yeah.
It's
Can be
not
dry.
nice, but
Yeah.
you can put a bit of taco seasoning. Or something. It is a really like powerhouse kind of protein if you're going to have it.
That's so good.
Very Australian.
I'll try that.
Yeah.
So what's your goals now? Like you've conquered the worlds. You won 3 divisions?
3 world titles in bikini 30 plus, bikini mama, and swimsuit 30 plus.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
So what now? Like you're opening a gym or opening a gym?
I had this goal to have a women's only gym because I've been into a gym and felt very intimidated. So I wanted to create a pretty gym.
Yeah, it is pretty.
But it has
Can we
to
put
have
a picture of
everything
this up,
in there.
Broccoli?
So it has to have
Yep.
everything in there. So it has to also be functional. It still has the squat racks and the lifting platforms,
Yeah.
but it's you've seen it. It's all wood.
I was going to
And
say
it's
they're all
beautiful.
wood.
It's so beautiful.
Where did you get them?
They're all handmade in Germany out of oak.
Really?
Yeah,
They're very stylish.
they're very cute.
Yeah.
I just wanted a private space where women could feel like I'm having a bad hair day. I'm not feeling
Yeah,
it. I'm
yeah.
bloated today. I don't want to see anyone.
Yeah.
Let me go
Yeah,
and train here.
understandable.
Show me,
And it's just you train them. They can't just join your gym.
It's at my house, so
Yeah.
it's very private, and it's just a one-on-one sort of. I can train my clients there and do small groups.
And you're full already. You're booked out
Yeah.
already. Haven't even opened. So
So
good.
we open on the 20th of July.
Yeah.
And we're booked out.
That's awesome.
It's been a great experience. It's had a lot of positive reactions. I think because it's so unique, I've never seen anything like it. And COVID, thanks COVID, kind of made me reassess.
I know. So many blessings come out of this, haven't there?
You know.
When it came, we were like, because we were training reasonably hard, and then we're like, what do you mean the gym's shut? and then we went and bought
literally,
bands.
literally,
But you couldn't
there was,
buy anything.
There was no,
Yeah,
you just
fortunately we
you
got
had no
some bands
option. It
straight
was like,
away.
oh, now what?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, actually, a lot of my equipment won't all be in the gym when I open. There was a 16-week wait.
I know,
on some of it,
I know.
you know?
It's
Even
still
to get
still
gym
today.
mirrors, I'm
Like
like,
all the plates,
Whole thing.
all the steel in the country sold out.
Yeah.
Yes.
We ended up buying after the weights, after the bands, a full gym. So we have the factory set up as a full gym now, like with most things, and it's
got a
been the
good
best
chunk
thing.
of it.
Yeah.
I don't have to share it with
Yeah.
anyone now.
Yeah.
So good.
I think a lot of people have found their own grooves during this time,
Yeah.
and also really reassessed why they do the fitness. Is it
Yeah.
to look a
Yeah.
certain way to, be attractive to certain people, or is
Yeah.
it genuinely for yourself?
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
maybe a bit of
You know?
both.
That's
Do I really love this? You know?
Yeah, exactly. No, totally.
And what makes me happy?
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
people have actually enjoyed home workouts more than what they ever would have.
yeah,
you know?
yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah.
We see a lot of people out here too, like just out the front on the esplanade, they're walking. Like it was, I guess
Do you rate walking?
Do I? Sorry.
Do you rate it?
Look, I think it's got its place. Absolutely.
But if someone goes for walks every day trying to lose weight or get fitter, like, is it?
That's going to be better than doing nothing.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Is
going
it
to
enough?
moving. Look, it depends on where you're starting at. You know, if you're starting from absolutely nowhere, no routine, and you start to walk for half an hour a day, that's going to be great.
Yeah.
Or, that's an improvement. Yeah, progress.
Progress.
Yeah. But diet really comes down to how quickly you'll see results. You can train really, really hard in the gym, but if you don't have that nutrition side, you're never going to out-train a bad diet.
It's so true.
Get
Like
it
that's
dialed in, yeah.
Bryce,
And
when
you
Bryce
gotta-
was training me earlier, I was like, "Oh, I'll do this and blah, blah, blah." And he's like, "Yeah, well, until you get your nutrition sorted out, it's like," and it's true. As soon as I did, my body changed like completely.
Yeah.
Well, not completely, but a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's
I
that-
think
that
that's the
important.
hardest
Yeah.
part. People think that
It's
the gym is
consistency.
really hard, but it's
Yeah.
not, that's actually the
Yeah.
fun part.
Yeah.
It's the food that is
Yeah.
really challenging, and I think that's why so many people will jump onto the quickest and fastest diets.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's also how quickly you'll rebound after that.
Yeah.
It's not consistent.
That's why we don't. This is the whole thing about this 12-week business and all the rest of it. At the end of the day, you're trying to build a lifestyle system and something that works for you. Putting time frames. That's what I said to Matt. Is you forget the time. The time's irrelevant.
Yeah.
It takes as long as it takes, or it happens as quick as it happens. So bringing it back to the system and what you repeat on a daily basis. It should just be repeat, repeat, repeat. So making sure when you come and train, you feel good, you're training well. Even if you're in a bit of a depleted state, your calories are dropping a little bit. It's more. You are going to feel a bit hungry. But how are you training? How are you performing while you're training? How does the muscle contract? How does it feel? When does your energy die off? Like how deep into the workout do you have energy, and when do you cross that threshold where it's just crashed and it's time to pack up? Those sorts of things all come into it. So
I mean, I'll have a client that comes in and I'll say, "What have you had for breakfast?" And I'll say, "A muesli bar." Go back home, go and get some breakfast. How are you supposed to train on a muesli bar? Like, come on.
Yeah.
But
It's true.
it's
any other
all
questions?
it's fascinating. It all sounds very similar. Like is from what we've discussed. There's not that much difference in the theories. Like, not a huge fan. Yeah, definitely. Cardio has its place, but weights and resistance work, in my opinion. Yeah, definitely. And I think as well too, with some of the things that have been mentioned by sort of women in the past is I don't want to get too big. And this sort of thinking.
You know what? I
do.
would have a huge laugh at my trainer because when I first started training, I was like, my jeans don't fit. I've bulked. I had been training for a week.
Yeah.
And, but I think as you get on, you're like, it takes a lot. The women that you see that are quite blokey looking.
They're enhanced.
They are doing it to look like that. It is so hard to look like that. I mean, I have lifted serious weight and I'm not huge.
No, it's very.
It's true.
I did watch someone who I knew train very, very hard to put on some mass naturally, and I mean trained harder than most of the blokes that used to come to the gym, and she hardly changed. And this was over a course of about 7 or 8 months, and she was putting in the work. We were watching her day in, day out with a trainer, put in the work. So it's definitely not a fear that's founded. That whole bulking, and then to recomposition and get the shape changes that you want. This all comes from resistance work. right?
It does. Well, I mean, you will see any kind of ideal physique that you like is just lean muscle. And that's just through weight training. You cannot get lean muscle without weight training.
So just to clarify, you're not taking on any more people yourself?
Not at
You're
this
full.
stage.
Do you have a waiting list?
Look, I do.
Yeah.
Unless one of my clients pulls out or you can share their spot, I'm done.
You're done. So how do they contact you? If you want them to.
Yeah.
Is that email?
Email's great. Yeah, that's on my page. but-
Yeah. So you're just Marella Diamond on Instagram?
Yes.
Yeah, they can find you there. There's 1,000 things we could ask, but you'd like.
Do
looking
you
like
do
busting-
any
asking
online?
questions.
Just I'm just wondering about because a lot of it now because of the corona situation, a lot of people are going to that
Look,
virtualization of everything.
I prefer one-on-one and to actually see the results.
Get the results,
And I think it can get lost pretty quickly and you
Yeah.
can become another number.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I've become so popular is because I do have a limit, and that limit is because I want to look after you. I want to see you're not another number to me. If you tell me I want to lose weight or I want to be able to do a chin up, I'm going to put my whole heart and soul into that.
Yeah.
And for me, and I've said it to many of my clients, when they achieve something, it's more rewarding than any medal I've ever received because I've been on that journey with you. And it's just amazing. Like I really am passionate about that. Yeah.
You can tell your energy just bursts out, so it's so good.
Yeah.
I want to train.
Yeah.
You. It's like, anyway,
Oh, he's left.
Yeah,
He's training in a ladies' gym. They'll appreciate you
I
there,
look good in
mate.
a bikini.
Yeah.
It's like, I really appreciate your time today.
Yeah.
And
Thank you.
there's probably like women that want to ask other questions, so we may get you back on later if you have time down the track.
Sounds great.
Yeah, if the kids don't dominate your life too much.
Too much.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, appreciate
Marella
it.
Diamond,
Yeah.
great one.
Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
having me.
Thank you.